This is 2-year-old Chloe, a baby, who, like 5-year-old Liam, was kidnapped by ICE and taken to an ICE detention center with her father. This despite her mother being in the home trying to take her. This despite a court order that she must be released back to her family. This despite the family having an active, open asylum case, therefore living here legally. And I don't give a shit if you don't like that they are here legally under asylum. It's the law. According to the family's attorney, ICE detained the toddler and her father, Elvis Joel Tapan Echeverria, in the driveway as they returned home from purchasing groceries. One agent broke the glass on the window of Mr. Elvis Joel's vehicle while his infant daughter was also inside. And this part is heartbreaking. CRTV's mother, that's how they're identifying the toddler, was standing outside the home calling to her husband, who attempted to bring the child to her. As ICE agents approached the mother, she stepped back inside the house. Zero judgment on this mother for stepping back inside that house, because she knew that if she stayed outside, they would take her too, and their child would be orphaned. And I'm sure that in her mind, there was no way that anybody would be so cruel as to take her 2-year-old baby and fly her baby to a detention center in another state. Further, ICE agents would not allow Mr. Elvis Joel to bring his daughter to her mother or the other family members waiting terrified inside the home. So this means that ICE agents knew that there was family in the house, family who is here legally under an asylum case, and they refused to bring a 2-year-old to the family in that house. And per the Department of Homeland Security's own policy, it is to allow parents detained in the presence of children to choose whether to take their child with them or leave the child with a trusted adult. There is no evidence here that they let dad make that choice. According to court documents, the toddler and her father were detained at 1:10 p.m. on Thursday. Keep that time in mind. The attorney filed an emergency habeas petition at 5:37 p.m. And between 6 and 7 p.m., she also filed a motion seeking the immediate release of the child. Then at 8:10 p.m., U.S. District Judge Catherine Menendez issued an order prohibiting the government from moving the child out of the state and ordered her to be released from custody by 9:30 p.m., saying the risk of irreparable harm to the child was overwhelming. Remember, they were detained at 1:10 p.m., but the government informed the toddler's lawyers that it had placed their clients on a commercial flight to Texas at 8:30 p.m. 7 hours later, they already had a baby on a flight to a Texas detention center. The good news is that she is supposed to be returned today. Because the habeas petition was filed before her clients were transferred out of state, government lawyers have agreed not to challenge the court's jurisdiction and said that the child would be returned to Minnesota on Friday. However, what is terrifying is that the government has been challenging habeas petitions filed in Minnesota if detainees are moved out of the state before those petitions can be filed. Meaning they are rushing the time between detainment. Remember, it was only 7 hours between detainment and being flown out of the state to a detention center. This is very intentional, because if this family's attorney had not filed that habeas petition before they flew Chloe out of the state, they would have fought to keep her in a detention center. And anyone defending this, saying at least she's being returned, this is not a cat. This is a baby. In fact, cats get better treatment when they're placed in an animal shelter than human beings taken to ICE detention centers. So to review, the family was here legally on an asylum case. Again, don't give a shit if you don't like the law. It is the law. Number 2, the mother was there to take the child, and they kidnapped her anyway. Number 3, if that family's attorney hadn't filed that petition in time, they would be fighting to keep her.